In this concluding section, I just want to touch on a few really important points that I want you to remember. The first point, as you can see on the text on the slide, is the promise of atoms. The promise of this intervention is number one, that you too can obtain the same results that I obtained. And I say that on the basis of a well-established research output over 100 years that makes the point that anybody who tries this intervention principles will meet with a great deal of success. So the first promise is that you too, if you enroll in the online course that I presented on the intervention and you implement those principles in your teaching, you will reach the same results that I obtained. The second promise of atoms is that when you implement this intervention, what you will achieve at the very least is a significant zap of the test score gap. In my particular case, when I work with my students, what I achieved was an elimination of the test score gap. Because if we all take our students from, let's say, 50% to 72% at HBCUs, we would have eliminated the STEM test score gap. So that is the promise of atoms. I did that. And when you implement this intervention, take the course and implement it, at the least, you will significantly zap or reduce the test score gap. The other point that I want to make is that we might think that when you apply this intervention, what you will do is that you'll just take the test score gap from here to there. No. And I will tell you why that's not what's going to happen. Because in all the papers that have been published on this intervention principle, when students were exposed to this intervention principle, what happened is that for students from underrepresented communities, their scores went up significantly higher. And the scores of the other students also went up. But the scores from the other students from the communities that are already represented in STEM, students from those communities, their scores go up, but not as much as the scores from students from underrepresented communities. So this intervention, the research shows that applying this principle actually lead to the students from underrepresented communities improving much more than students from communities that are not underrepresented. So this intervention is actually for, first of all, as far as my focus is concerned, my focus is first of all on HBCUs, because this intervention was developed at an HBCU with HBCU students, and it has shown its potential for making a difference in the test score gap. But, as I've said, only 10% of black students, for instance, attend HBCUs. 90% of black students are scattered throughout the predominantly white institutions. So therefore, this intervention is for faculty and teachers from those institutions as well, because they teach 90% of the students that this intervention is supposed to help in terms of eliminating the test score gap. And my invitation is first and primarily to my colleagues at HBCUs, at historically black colleges and universities. But equally, my invitation is for all of you who teach STEM, whether it's at predominantly white institutions or whether it's in other countries, whether it's in Africa, where there are also students from underrepresented communities in STEM. In Asia, there are also underrepresented students in STEM. There are certain groups are well represented, but there are Asian groups that are not as well represented in STEM as certain other groups. So this test score gap actually exists throughout the world. And whether you are in Australia, whether you are in New Zealand, Africa, Europe, anywhere in the world, I'm inviting you to enroll in this course so that we can together go from just talking about the gap to actually eliminating the gap. An interesting fact that I want to share with you is that the 2019 Nobel Prize for Economics was awarded to 3 American economists. 2 were a husband and wife team from MIT, and the third laureate was from Harvard. And the reason why they were given the 2019 Nobel Prize in Economics is because they worked on education intervention. In the Nobel citation, it says they were given that Nobel Prize because they showed that education interventions are an important component in our battle against global poverty. So at the level of the Nobel Prize, where the best minds are working on the most important problems facing humanity, at that level, there is a profound recognition that educational intervention are the things that will transform people's lives. If we all, let's say, enroll in this course and implement this intervention, we will literally transform lives. We will transform the trajectory of many lives, the lives of our students, and even our own lives. So I want to end with this point, recognizing the importance of effective interventions. And so my last words to you is enroll in the course, and we will together work together to work to stem this devastation of the test score gap that's been going on for 60 years. It's about time to end it. As I say in Nguni, Pelindaba, it has to stop. And now, I too will stop, and Nicola will come on again to give you details as to how to enroll in the course, when the course will get online. Nicola will give you all the information now. Thank you very much, and goodbye for now.